Alright, we've got the very dirty 2010 Dodge Charger in the garage, and today we're doing the most basic of maintenance you can do at your home by yourself and save a little bit of money in the long run, which is the oil change. So real quickly, I'll show you what we're going to need in order to do the oil change on the car. Obviously you're going to need oil, brand new oil. I'll explain in a bit how you get what kind of oil goes in your vehicle. We're going to need a wrench to remove the oil filter. You don't need one of these, but they will definitely make your job a lot easier, especially if you've had your vehicle into an oil change place. The last time around, I find they tend to over tighten their filters and they're ridiculous to get off. You're going to need a couple funnels. I use two, one for clean oil, one for dirty oil. This way nothing gets mixed in between. You'll need a couple wrenches. We have a couple bolts to remove. Obviously your oil filter and something to catch the oil in when you release it. Now obviously I'm a nobody, so Castrol and Fram don't sponsor me in any way. They're just the two products that I use on my vehicle. Just personal preference. Just thought I'd get that out of the way. Alright, now what kind of oil are we going to use in the vehicle? Most vehicles I've owned, if you go to your oil cap, we'll say right on it what kind of oil. So in our case it's 10W30. Obviously if it's not written on the cap, just consult your vehicle's owner manual. And if you don't have one like I don't, just go on Google that. You'll get your answer pretty quick. Alright, the first step on doing the oil change on a 2010 Charger, and I don't know how this is going to show up on the camera, but there's a plastic shroud that sits on the bottom of your car underneath the motor that you're going to have to remove. It's just 4 bolts, basically one in each corner. They get removed with a 10mm socket. They are numbered in a cross pattern, which is great for doing things like rims and whatnot. For plastic shrouds, just take them off whichever way is easier. The way I do it, I take the front two off first because there's another plastic lip that will kind of hold it. And then when you're doing your back two nuts, when you're unscrewing them, the whole plastic piece doesn't want to fall in on you, and it's just a lot less awkward to deal with when you're under here. And also when you're removing this, make sure you're wearing either glasses or clear safety glasses or something, because you're going to get sand and other crud falling on you and just going to make your life a little more annoying when you're doing this. So we'll start by removing those. Alright, we're just taking the last one out now. Figured you didn't need to watch me take 3 of these off. It's pretty straightforward. And of course this one would give me a pain. The other 3 came off no problem. Alright, so you get the last one out, just slide this piece of plastic back, throw it on the ground. And we take a look underneath the motor. There's our drain plug right at the bottom. When you're looking at it, just look for the very bottom part of your motor, which is the flattest part usually. There's a drain plug. That's what we'll be removing to do our oil change. First thing you're going to want to do before you start your oil change is take your cap off. This will help the oil flow better, and put it somewhere where you remember where it is. Alright, so we're under the car again. Now we're going to remove our drain plug. Plug on the Charger, it's a 13mm socket or wrench that you're going to need. Obviously we've got our bucket here to catch the oil that's going to come out. So let's do this. Obviously these are on a lot tighter than what just got shown there. Obviously I loosened it, but you're going to need a little bit of force to take it off. Breaker bar, something long, will do just fine. Once you break it off, you're going to be able to just twist it by hand. And your oil, in this case, it's going to want to squirt kind of back. It's not going to come straight down. It's going to want to go back. So make sure your bucket's back a little bit. I've got cardboard on the garage floor just in case any spills. So let's go ahead and remove our drain plug. So you're going to give this a few minutes to drain. Once that's done draining, move on to our next step, which is going to be removing the oil filter. So while our oil's draining, I figured I'd take a couple minutes just to kind of explain what's going to happen on your very first oil change. You're going to have to buy a few things that you may or may not have sitting around your garage. So your first oil change, if you don't really have any of this stuff, is probably going to cost you the same amount of money as taking it to an oil change place. However, once you have the stuff, you have it and you're good to go. Your oil filter wrench is going to run you, I think I paid $7 for this. A couple filters, I think they're funnels, sorry, are about $3 each. It's not that much to really get started. And once you have this stuff, you have it and you're good to go. Alright, so the old oil is just about all out of the oil pan. So next up, what you're going to do is you're going to remove your oil filter. Now, they're in different spots on every vehicle. So since we're just concentrating on the Charger for this oil change, you're just going to, there's your drain plug, and you're just going to kind of come over to the left. That's your oil filter right there. Nothing too hard. It's actually really easy to get at compared to some vehicles I've done. So Dodge makes her nice and easy. So next step, we're going to remove our oil filter. Alright, so before you start removing your oil filter, you're going to want to move your oil catch bucket underneath it, because you are going to get oil coming out of the oil filter area too. Oh, you get your oil filter wrench on. Turn her counterclockwise like anything else in life. There's not a lot of room to move in here, so you might have to readjust here a couple times before you get her moving. Once it's loosened up, you'll be able to just grab it with your hand. Would you like to twist it loose until some oil will start coming out? There it goes. Makes a little bit less of a mess when you're doing this. Now, like I said, I use the Fram Extra Guards. They're just what I've always used. They've got this rubber coating at the end. I just find it easier to get them on, or more specifically get them off, than other ones who don't have it. I'm not saying you have to go buy these ones. Go buy whatever ones you'd like. But I've always used these. I've never had any issues. I've always had high mileage vehicles and never had issues. So there you go, your oil filter's out. Let the rest of that oil drain out, and we'll start putting our new filter in, new oil in, and we're just about done. Alright, so next up we put the new oil filter in. Before you put the new oil filter in, make sure you always put some oil inside of the filter. Make sure everything's going to be lubricated when you start her up. I like to fill it up. As you can see, it's dripping down right to the top. Be smart. If you have a vehicle where your filter's sitting sideways, don't fill it up, because as soon as you go to try to put it in, you're going to dump half of it on the floor. The Jeep Cherokee we used to have, that's how it was. So I fill it up about halfway and usually put it on without too many messes. So you're going to want to just put it in like you took it off. Make sure you don't cross thread it, just like anything else. Then you're going to want to put it as tight as you can by hand, unless you've got amazing grip strength. And then just take your wrench, just give it maybe a quarter turn. You don't want to put these on too tight. Make sure it's on good. A quarter turn is usually all you're going to need. Alright, next up, put our oil plug back in. Alright, welcome to part 2 of the oil change. After some technical difficulties during part 1, we're going to have to split this video into 2, I guess. So, as I left you off with on the first video, It's time to put the drain plug back on. Right, grab your wrench, tighten her down. Same thing. This is another thing you don't want to over tighten. Just get her good and tight. You're going to see it's not going to want to move anymore anyways. And now we go on top, start putting some oil in. Alright, so this part's pretty straightforward, obviously. You're going to throw your funnel on top of where your oil cap was, and you're going to dump oil into it. If you don't know how much your vehicle takes, again, it's something you could Google. I'm assuming it's in the owner's manual. Like I said earlier, I don't have an owner's manual with my car. I bought it used. Or you can take the oil you drained out. If you've got an empty oil container or something, just measure out how much came out of your car. Obviously checking it before to see where your levels were at. But anyways, let's start adding some oil. Just a quick tip when you're doing this. Obviously, I'm holding a camera with one hand. When I did this, tried to put oil in the other one, and you notice I was kind of all over the place with it. The easiest way to put oil in here when you're doing is turn this sideways. And it comes out smoother. It's just easier to put in. So on the Charger, with the 3.5 liter high output motor, I put about 6 liters of oil in mine. I'm assuming everybody's is the same. So I buy one of these 5-liter jugs and then top it off with another liter. Basically I have another big jug like this, and I just kind of add in about 1 liter, and 6 liters later we're ready to go. And obviously the last thing you're going to want to remember to do is put your cap back on. Start your motor up for a couple minutes, and as always, check your oil levels. Make sure you're good before you start driving around. If you notice you've put too much in, which I have done, you're gonna have to remove some. It's not good to have too much oil in your vehicle. Just get underneath, crack that oil, the oil pan, plug a little bit, let some drip out, and yeah, until you're at the right levels. So then last thing you're gonna want to do, obviously you're gonna want to put the shroud back on the bottom. Apparently, according to Dodge, it helps with wind resistance and gas mileage. I think it looks useless. It's useless, but considering the Charger's not getting fantastic gas mileage anyways, any little bit helps, I guess. So I always throw it back on. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that if you can take it off, you should be able to put it back on. Like I said, when I put it on, I throw it in. I put the back 2 screws in first, since you have that little plastic piece up front holding it. Just makes it a lot easier. Just ignore the numbers on each corner. They're useless. And after that, you're going to want to do something with your old oil. This is where your dirty funnel comes in. I only run dirty oil through it because your oil that you've collected here, it's going to have sand and sediment from underneath the vehicle that it hit, and it gets trapped in your funnel. Unless you want to clean your funnel, that's fine. I'm lazy, I guess. I don't clean my funnels, so only dirty oil runs through there. And you're going to want to bring your oil to an oil recycler. Most auto parts places that you buy oil from will accept oil to recycle. Up here in Canada, I buy my oil at Canadian Tire. Again, not sponsored or anything by them, but just happens that's where I buy it. They accept dirty oil for recycling. We happen to have another place. Alright, so we're done on the oil change on the dirty 2010 Charger. Again, sorry for a few hiccups throughout this video. This is my first real kind of how-to video for my channel. I am just doing this for fun. Obviously, I'm not looking to make any kind of money or anything on the channel. I just thought something I'd like to do kind of as a hobby. And basically what I'm looking for is maybe help one person out there who wasn't too sure about doing an oil change. Give them some good information specifically on the Charger, and give them the confidence that hopefully they need to do it themselves, and hopefully they feel good about it afterwards. So if you like the video, hey, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see what else comes out. I've learned a lot making my first video here, so I'm definitely looking forward to doing more how-to videos. I got a few things coming up on both my vehicles, so stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed what I did today. Thanks. Bye.